Yo, what up, Grab 5D here. This is a champion guide for Neldo, an epic champion from the High Elves faction who was released last year 2024 to be one of the solutions you can bring into the Fire Knight hard to solve that problem where the boss required freeze debuff to keep their tummy meter down. That was a unique problem that has to be resolved by a lot of players in that end game category. We are trying to beat Fire Knight all the way to hard 10, and we had to use these epic champions to help us get it done. Neldo is not the only one. There are a bunch of epic champions who now have an A1 freeze, which is what this champion will be used for in your teams. If you're a newer player coming in, this is the only reason that most players are building this champion, because he's one of the few epics who have an A1 freeze. The difference between an epic champion and a legendary champion with an A1 freeze is that this epic champion's A1 freeze is never really a 100% chance to land it. You check it right here, it's a 30% chance to land the A1 freeze on the boss especially, and then if you book it up, it becomes up to a 40% chance. You can boost it with a little bit of masteries, an additional 5% chance to land the freeze if you go towards that defense tree all the way to the bottom, right? So that might be a 50% freeze, but I don't think most players will be selecting that. So it's not a consistent freeze, it's not a regular freeze, but at least this is the best chance you have if you want to beat the Fire Knight from hard 1 maybe up to hard 6. Now for hard 10 content, you require a ton of speed and a much higher chances of landing freeze more consistently, so you don't waste your energy. So in this video, I want to showcase this champion's skills and test him out in that Fire Knight hard content, and also let you know that he can still be used in Fire Knight normal if you're still lacking multiple hits champions. You can check it right there, he hits 3 times. So besides the fact that you need him for freeze on that Fire Knight hard, you could use this champion on Fire Knight normal, because he's one of those few champions who can hit 3 times, like an apothecary, like a cold heart, like an allure. So you can pair him with those champions, not to keep the boss's tummy meter down, but at least to break the shield fast enough for you to now use an Amiga or other champions to keep the tummy meter down more consistently. So I'll showcase him in those 2 content, and that's the only real reason why anybody should build this champion. If you're not building this champion for the Fire Knight hard or normal, tell me in the comments why else you're building a Neldo Rimeblade. Right, he does have a decreased speed on this A3, which is also another debuff, essential debuff you need in Fire Knight hard or normal. With these debuffs out there, the boss will not get his tummy meter filled too fast, and also this debuff can be used in the wave content to make sure the waves don't kill your cold heart or your allure or your other weak champions fast enough. So this will decrease their speed, so use this skill in the wave 1, wave 2, and when you get to the boss, make sure it's available for him to also use it on the boss. If he's the only champion you have placing decreased speed on the boss, it's a bigger version of the decreased speed, which is useful. He also heals himself by 30% of damage dealt. Now you might think that this champion is a damage dealer, right? His damage is based on attack, he can hit hard, but take note, if you try to build this champion in damage sets, in high damage stats, you might end up lacking the accuracy and the speed required to make him do his primary role, which is decreased speed and A1 freeze. These are the 2 main reasons why he's in my team. So in this build, I will not be showcasing Neldo in a crazy savage build or merciless or lethal. No, triple roll of perception or triple speed, whatever can make him go fast and have enough accuracy, that's what I put on him. I'll showcase the build, how you can build him for your account also. If you want to make him a damage dealer, not just a A1 freeze champion or A3 decreased speed champion, you can go ahead and place high amount of crit rate and high amount of crit damage on him. But take note, make sure you meet those 2 requirements first. Accuracy and speed is what this champion needs more than crit rate and crit damage. If you have the other stats for that, go ahead. So this is Neldo. He does look like a High Elves faction champion for sure. I have never used him on my team because I have all the Gnot and all that. So if you have those end game damage dealers like the legendaries, Gnots, 2 copies and so on, you don't need this champion for your teams. This is mostly for early game players. Maybe there will be a area in the City of Centranos that required him to be used, I don't know. So I did not give him my best build in this champion guide. I just wanted to showcase what he can do for you in your teams. He does have a decreased attack and decreased accuracy. This is also a 4 hitter. So in the Fire Knight normal or hard, if he's one of the first to go, you might want to start the battle with this skill because he does have a 4 hitter instead of a 3 hitter. So take note of that. You might want to start the battle with this to break the shield faster before you begin to go in with your A1. You can set that in your team presets or his skills presets, so he can make sure he prioritizes his skill. He does have a passive that whenever an ally places freeze debuff, this champion has a 30% chance to target with their default skill. It's not his turn, just that when your Cold Heart does something, she doesn't have freeze, right? But if somebody else that has freeze, like one of these legendary champion will get from, let me see if he's also in the same faction. We get a legendary champion that has freeze. I forget, he's in the team. Let me go to the Fire Knight team and showcase that champion. We get him from this clan shop, right? We're heading straight to the Fire Knight. I will not test this champion in any other dungeon content. I'll try hard 9 or a stage that is void affinity, so we'll get no weak hits. This champion is who I'm talking about. So if anybody goes in with the freeze, there's a 30% chance that Neldo will also go in with his own A1 freeze too, which is nice. I'm also going to be showcasing Neldo with another epic champion who does a similar skill. I have a dedicated guide on Gory. The first time I used him in the Fire Knight, I also put out the video about him. He does similar thing like Neldo, but his freeze is, I think, is on a lower chance of landing it. Places an extra hit if the target is under freeze. No, he doesn't even have an A1 freeze. So, but he comes in there in the team if you're trying to get through it, because his own freeze is on his A3. So if he's landing his freeze, Neldo might join the attack, and he also has this skill that is not that important. So I'm going to be testing him along with an epic champion who is kind of his counterpart, but clearly Neldo has an A1 freeze and a 3-hitter, so he's going to be a better choice. So when it was released, a lot of people did drop their Gory and replace it with the Neldo. So you might want to take note of that. And Gory is not the only one. There's one more champion that has an A1 freeze. You can check out all of them and decide which combination you want to use for your teams. Now this is hard content, so I'm going to be using my Mikage. If you do not yet have a Mikage, 2 ally attack champions is required for hard content, but while for normal Fire Knight, 1 ally attack champion is just fine, right? But for this content you need 2 ally attack champion because the number of hits you want to do on the shield is high, right? So we got 2 choices of decreased speed. If you want to use Farrakhan the Fat, Longbeard, there ton of ally attack champions that you can use. You prefer those ones who all ally joins the attack than 3 ally join attack or 4 ally join attack. No, all ally join attack along with the champion also. So there's a lot of ally attack champions in raid these days, so check them out. Make sure you put even 2 copies of Farrakhan the Fat. I don't know if they can go up to hard mode 10, but maybe hard 6 you can get to that extent. Let's test this battle out, and then we'll see Neldo's gear that I put on him to see how you can also build him. Hard 6, right? All the team presets have been set already. Check them out. On the first wave, they're going to use the ally attack and don't use it again. On Mikage also use our ally attack, don't use it again. Neldo is allowed to use whatever, but on the boss, I told him to turn off all his skills and focus only on his A1. Which is the main reason why he's in the team. Now, because I have an alternate champion that brings decreased speed, which is this champion, I don't need Neldo's decreased speed. But if you don't have this Yakal bringing decreased speed on the boss, you might need to turn on Neldo's decreased speed so he can place it sometimes on the boss and reduce the chances of the boss getting a turn after you break the shield. So take note, I turned it off because I have Yakal doing my main source of decreased speed. Besides, Neldo's decreased speed, is it a 100% chance to land it? No, it's a 50% chance. So I need a different champion who has a higher chance of landing the the decreased speed on a 100% chance. That's why he's my main source instead of Neldo. Alright, so let's fight the battle and see how it goes. I'm not going to turn on super rates. I just want to test this out for... You might want to put in increased accuracy. For this boss battle, you need at least a minimum on the hard mode 10 at least. 250 speed is what most players try to aim for. That's why it's hard to build champion with damage and speed and accuracy, because the speed requirement is so high. 250 speed is high. Of course, for hard 6, hard 1, hard 2, you might not need that amount. But if you're hoping to go all the way to hard 10, you will need up to that high amount of speed. For accuracy requirement, you're looking at 340 or 350 for hard mode 10. So all these champions you're seeing here, especially the ones doing all these freeze and debuffs, all have up to 340 speed. Again, that's why I could not make their crit damage 300k or something, because they all care about speed and accuracy before they care about crit and crit damage. That doesn't mean you shouldn't give them 100% crit. That doesn't mean you shouldn't hit at least 200% crit damage, so they can take this wave down faster a little bit, so you don't spend all your time here. I'm taking full advantage of this AoE freeze champion to make sure the wave content don't get a ton of tons and make this run a little bit slow. So the wave is not a problem if you have Yakal, but it might be a problem. Remember, you don't have any source of revive, so take note of that and keep them frozen. Let Yakal use his AoE freeze to make sure that the wave don't get a chance to nuke you. Now all my champions, including Mikage and Patriarch, all have their ally attack, and we'll go slow it down for the boss battle and see how it runs there, because I want to see Neldo do his thing, and when he hits the boss, what happens. Remember, he's only allowed to use his A1, so we start with the first ally attack champion, who is the fastest, Mikage, because she's built for arena. Neldo hits with his A1. Next ally attack champion, Patriarch, goes in, or your Farrakhan the Fat, whoever. Neldo also joins the attack. So that's the boss shield down. So I'm looking forward to decrease speed now from this champion. He didn't use his skill. Neldo does A1. It wasn't his turn. It happened. Neldo was not supposed to take a turn right there, but because of Yakal took a turn and freeze the boss with his, was that his A3? Why was Yakal using his A3? The AoE freeze on the boss. I thought he's supposed to do decrease speed first. Maybe it's on a cooldown. Anyways, let me keep going. Mikage. I want to see when Neldo joins the attack again when it's not his turn. That's the best part of this champion's skill. Not just the fact that he has a triple hitter on the freeze A1. It's just that the fact that if anybody else that has freeze on the team goes in to freeze this boss, he will join the attack. It's a 30% chance. But people use him just because of that reason. I want to see it happen again slowly. Stop. I want to see Yakal going with the A1, and Neldo, will you join? Neldo? He didn't join this time around. I thought he will. So this is his own turn taking in, making sure the boss keeps his turn meter down. And I want to see Yakal place the freeze again. I want to see Neldo do that thing again. Decrease speed, finally. So that's what Yakal was there for. 100% chance to land that decrease speed. That means the boss's turn meter won't get filled too fast. Mikage is not switching forms. She's only allowed to use her form 1. Neldo going in with the A1 again, making sure the turn meter stays down. We're going with the ally attack, pushing the turn meter back a lot further. Let's see when Yakal do his hits now. He also has the ally attack to go in. I want to see Yakal do it, and then Neldo goes in to join him. Looks good when that happens. Alright, Yakal, are you ready? A1, it's not Neldo's turn, right? Will he join? He's gonna join. That's it. It's not his turn yet, but he joined that A1. So this makes sure that the boss turn meter stays down. This is why most people prefer to use him. Even in hard mode content, a champion will always, well, 30% chance to always go in with the A1 freeze when somebody else is doing their own freeze is good for Fire Knight hard. And that's why this champion was hyped when it was released. People were, happy that PlayerUnknown's gave a champion. If you don't have the Gnots and all those big names who can hit this boss down faster, you do have a Neldo who can go in with the A1 freeze when it's not even his turn. So that makes him extremely useful for endgame content like this, and not just Fire Knight Hard 1, 2, 3, but also for Fire Knight Hard 10. You could pair this champion with your one Gnot if you have that, and whenever Gnot goes into freeze and do his A1 stuff, Neldo will go in with his passive that activates his A1. Very, very good skill right here. He just did it again, and I like that about him. So I personally don't need him for my Fire Knight Hard team, because I obviously have double Gnots and then do big damage over here and get the boss down faster. I'll put it on 2x speed now. So let's get done with this team, and let me show you how Neldo might work in your team. If you don't yet push Fire Knight hard, you can also use this champion on Fire Knight normal with your Cold Arts, with your Amiga, with your Farrakhan the Fat. Don't think I forgot about the early game players who are not yet pushing Fire Knight hard. So we'll showcase this champion as how it can also be used in that content to take down the shield of the boss, put the decrease speed down on the boss, and then watch as Cold Art and others keep the boss Dorminator down or eventually kill the boss. Alright, let me end this Fire Knight hard battle and go over to normal mode and also fight a battle there before I show his stats. So don't worry, he's just building normal perception, but like I already told you the stats you're looking for. Minimum 250 speed if you're trying to push it to hard content, and minimum 340 to 350 accuracy if you're trying to push to hard 10 content also. Much lower if you want to build him for, you know, level 20 Fire Knight normal also. Alright, I'll showcase his masteries that I'm using on him too. Nothing special, just normal general masteries. Sell that trash gear for all that trouble. Alright, let me switch to normal and showcase the normal 20 team. This team can also work on normal 25 if you want to, and that's the team. This is a basic beginner team. This looks like a normal Fire Knight team, but I want to showcase Neldo this time around. I hope everybody is well built and I've not stolen gear from anybody. I think Farah can steal gear from Farah. Let me just check. Okay, he has gear. We're good to go. Because if he doesn't have gear, it will be a strategy. Go. Cold Art is not building high damage build. My Cold Art is building high accuracy build to do A1, heal reduction for Emu's boss. Ooh, that's Neldo using his AoE decrease speed, and it looks like that's his main damage hit that is supposed to take this wave down faster. So amongst everybody in here, who do you think did AoE damage more in this wave content? It's Neldo. So that's why most people prefer to build it in a merciless, savage, lethal, whatever damage set that can get him through the waves faster. Besides Cold Art just picking out one person, Neldo does have, AoE freeze on that. That A1 looks like an AoE freeze. No, it's a triple hitter on 2 random people that got frozen. So remember, when you freeze the enemies, they take a longer time to kill them. He's using his skill again. Alright, ally attack, fracking the fat. There we go, starting the battle strong. And down goes the shield. Between Cold Art and Neldo, the shield is down. Neldo is also landing decrease attack right here and decrease accuracy. I did not turn off his A2 in this run. I allowed him to use it. Now Amiga will keep the Dorminator down. Between Amiga, Deacon and Cold Art, the Dorminator of the boss should stay down while Neldo has done his job. His job was to, contribute A1 hits. That was his job. But now he has nothing else to do than just to, maybe decrease speed. I'm looking for the decrease speed. He has still not landed it. Cold Art snooped the boss down already. No need. So that's how he can be used in your team, whether you're building him for normal right now to use him in Fire Knight normal, so you can gradually push to Fire Knight hard. That also might be a strategy, because this champion will be used in the Fire Knight. Is there any other content that he will be useful? I've not seen it. Maybe, of course, in High Elves faction wars, if you build a champion for level 20 or 25 or hard mode content, there's no reason they shouldn't make it into your High Elves faction wars team also, right? Where you can freeze the wave, make it easier for you, get to the boss, place decrease speed, and also knock it down faster. That's the champion guide for Neldo. Let me go over there and show you this champion's build though before I end the video, so you know how I built him, so you can take inspiration from that, not just copy, right? So like I said, I wasn't building my Neldo for high damage. I was building this champion to reach the accuracy requirement and the speed requirement for hard mode content. That's why you see I was trying to go with one set of perception and every other set that had a little bit of accuracy, every other set that had a little bit of speed, 12% speed coming from this 3-piece protection set right here. As for these two, they are random, and this set also has a little bit of accuracy and speed. So that's the two things I was looking for, accuracy and speed. Now if I was looking for pure damage, I will go merciless, lethal, perception. Merciless, lethal, savage. Those 3 sets are good for this champion if you want pure damage from him. But I wanted to meet the accuracy and speed requirement for hard mode content, and this is how I thought to do it. Good triple speed works, triple perception set works, and a mixture of both works. and whatever you can do to meet those two requirements, speed and accuracy. This champion might also be built with 0 crit rate, 0 crit damage, and still be able to do that A1 freeze for you in Fire Knight hard. His job is done. So if you can squeeze both the accuracy and the the accuracy and the speed, and then add crit damage, then it's all good and dandy. For now, I couldn't do it, so that's why I built him like this. So I don't intend to build this champion in Merciless or in any damage set, because I have that type of set on other champions instead of him. Let's see his total stats. This champion is looking at up to 250 speed, like I'm saying. And if you check out some area bonuses that I'm getting from the Fire Knight, this can also be put into consideration. If you've been fighting live arena, you get some of these area bonuses that you can put into the Fire Knight to make it much easier on your stats, right? So instead of 250, my area bonuses is pushing me all the way to 268 speed, which is much faster than the boss at hard 10. That's a goal you want to aim for. Crit rate 100%, even if I'm saying he doesn't need it, but just for the damage for the wave and for the boss, he does contribute a little bit of 253 crit damage. I didn't look at his damage stats in this video. I was just more concerned about his A1 freeze and his decreased speed, but he does also have an accuracy of 384, added 24 from the area bonus, which makes him, right there for this Fire Knight hard 10 freeze requirement, accuracy requirement, right, to meet the boss's resistance checkmate. My Neldo has the standard masteries that you find on almost every damage dealer out there, but because he has a triple hitter on his A1, he does go towards the Giant Slayer option. You can check out El Hade's website for more mastery options. I've never seen this champion being used in PvP either, but this is the mastery I was talking about that might increase the chances of you placing freeze if you care so much about that chance to not be such on a low chance of landing it. If you don't care about his damage at all that is contributing from this A1 hits, you might just want to go towards the freeze if that's all you care about and you're struggling with keeping the atomic of the boss down. So for his blessings, I went towards Phantom Touch. For higher blessings, you might want to change towards Crushing Range or something like that if you went towards the damage build. Alright, so that's Neldo Rimeblade, and that's how I choose to build him in my team or use him in Fire Knight hard. That same thing you just see me test in hard 6 can probably make it all the way to hard 10, but I just wanted to showcase what this champion can do for your teams, whether you want to use him in Fire Knight normal or hard. That's the only content I think he can be used. I've not seen him being used in Clan Boss, Hydra, nothing like that, but I build him only for this content, and that's where I intend to use him, and that's why I recommend players to also use him. Now I'll go back to my normal Fire Knight team where I'm using my endgame team like this, who do it much faster. So if you don't yet have a crazy team like this, Neldo is the guy for you. So hopefully soon you get there. Even if you don't have your Mikages, like I said, double ally attack champion, get it done. Even if you can do hard 1 Fire Knight, it's better than doing at 25, level 25 normal. Take note of that. So A1 freeze champions, build multiple copies of them, bring 3 of them into this battle and get the shield down, keep the Dorminator down, and get some new Fire Knight accessories that will be good for your champions, right? All right, that's what I have to share with you about Neldo. That's his champion guide. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily raid content. Is there any other champion you want me to take a close look at like this and showcase for you? Let me know in the comments. Later, guys.